Talk Shoes.
Recorded live.
How about that?
Pretty impressive. You and technology, Monty. You guys make an amazing, outstanding combination.
Say that again?
Combination. Thank you. Yes, combination. Like the Master Locks and the whole thing in high school.
There you
if
go.
you remember.
All right. Well, for starters, let me introduce you to my podcast fan base of none. You are a very dear and close friend of mine, Mr. Gene, and I've known you since 1993 when we started working. Yes, it's been that long since we worked at Borders, opened up the very first store in Miami. But you didn't come in the grand opening. You came in
a few weeks after, actually about 6 to 8 months afterwards. I applied there when they first opened, but there was a misunderstanding with my application. But glad that our paths crossed. Very happy about that.
So it's been quite a long time since I've known you. We've been through a lot.
Yes.
One of my ushers at my wedding, and maybe one day I will be in kind to you, whenever that day happens.
It might happen, I mean, closet dorks, you got to be cool and suave most of the time. With your true friends, you can let it out and say that I watch Star Trek and I can name episodes and things like that. It's fun.
I know,
Good.
But you still live at home.
I caregive for my parents. It's not a big deal.
I could say you have kissed a girl, so at least you're not the stereotypical sci-fi geek that, we've grown to be
stereotyped. Yeah, it's
stereotype,
not really true. I think there's different levels. There's dorks, there's geeks, there's nerds, there's dweebs, and there's also kind of this weird kind of food chain involved.
So we're just talking about a matter of degrees then.
Seemingly, yeah. I think the dorks are pretty high up on the food chain. They can get along well socially with women and are not psychologically embarrassing themselves too much. They generally have stable jobs. They understand that sci-fi and Doctor Who, Star Trek is a show. They have lives, but they can't maybe necessarily fix a computer. They can program their VCR, but not do all these other technical things. And then I think below them are nerds. They're more academically savvy. I don't know. What do you think about this? They study. They're academically smart, but applying that to the real world is tough for them. Geeks,
okay.
I don't know. Geeks are kind of all messed up because of the Geek Squad thing at Best Buy.
Yeah.
But
we don't get dressed up with the white shirts and the black tie and look like Mormons.
No, those are fastly challenged people. But yeah, it's all a matter of taste, perspective, and understanding of the universe, Monty. I don't know how deep you want to go into this.
Yeah, I don't want to go any further than that because there are just too much. Well, it's like the whole idea of, okay, you have truckers and you have truckies. Now, if you understand those terms, then you understand there's a division between the two. Someone who is outside of it, who has no idea other than, oh, yeah, I know about Star Trek, like from the movies or the series, that there is no distinguishing. I cannot say distinguishing. Is that even a word?
Monty, that's the thing. If you're going to do a podcast live, you've got to enunciate and not mess up, because nothing looks worse than when you mess up pronunciation of a simple word, but that's okay. Just simply think.
I wouldn't talk, Mr.
Yeah,
I haven't done a podcast before.
Yeah.
I will edit you out.
Thank you.
But the difference is that, the truckers are the more hardcore Star Trek fans, whereas the Trekkies are the more laid-back people like me that don't care that if you call me a trucker or a Trekkie. But God forbid, if you call a trucker or a Trekkie, you're like, you're calling your mother,
Yes, however, Monty, I would like to point out to your audience that while you were going for your master's degree, that somehow in every paper you wrote during your master's class for your whatever you were going for, you managed to incorporate Star Trek in everything somehow.
Yes, but I worked practical theories and ideas based on Star Trek, but I didn't live my life. Well, let's start that over again.
Take two. Scene one, go, action. Go ahead. Please continue.
Okay,
more.
but the thing is, I don't care if you call me a Trekkie or a Trekker for those non-Star Trek fans. It doesn't bother me either way.
They
But
know better.
Yeah, exactly. But when we did the Star Trek event over at Borders, when First Contact came out, and I contacted that fan club, as good as they are in doing, organizing special events for community service, things like that, I give them credit for that. But outside of that, it was really hardcore, as if that's their whole makeup. And I'm not sure if I'm even describing it accurately, but there's a big difference. I don't have it necessarily someone like, the juror that was kicked out of the trial, who wore the Star Trek outfit, the Star Trek uniform.
I remember watching that was in Trekkies, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that will be a Trekker because they live and breathe it every day. And yes, I follow some principles, and yes, I put it in my papers, and I think in those terms. I don't necessarily have it on my tattooed on my face or my arm. It's not that visible.
I don't know. You're borderline. You're married now. You can come out and just say you're a Trekker. You've managed to gain a successful life. You're respected by your peers. You have a good job. You can.
What peers are you talking about? I have no peers. I have a wife. I have 2 kids and 3 cats.
And your life moves forward, not backwards. You're not trapped in a time vortex or anything like that. You continue to grow beyond what you are. It's a good thing. You can do whatever you've established yourself. You are a sci-fi fan, a hardcore sci-fi fan with potential roots or dwellings or dwindlings.
So basically, I'm in the nexus that I created.
Yes, you can.
I created my own nexus.
You can create your own.
And yet, I did not have to blow up, 3 billion inhabitants on a planet to do so.
That was so funny though when the little Enterprise crashes and little people are running from the Nexus explosion. That was kind of cute. I was like, they're not going to go anywhere. They're just I laughed at that.
Whop. Off they go. So one of the things that I wanted to let people know about you is that since we've been good friends, and every once in a while we do get together and we go to the movies, most of the time we don't get a chance to do so. So we have our calls that basically it's more of a catch-up. What have we seen? What have we done? Just kind of touching base with each other. And sometimes we can go on so many different topics within the space of 10, 15 minutes that it seems like we had like a lifetime of conversations, but that's what we do, since our lives are really that busy. So I wanted to kind of record that podcast and capture those moments just so we could have something that other people can, maybe pick up 1 or 2 things that may be relatable to them or find something humorous to talk about from that point on. But I thought it would be really good material for people to listen to. So let's begin with, what have you been doing lately?
So general. God, it's like an interview. Okay. No problem. Sure, Monty. And the reason we can do that, by the way, is because we're adults. We have our own lives. We do escape through sci-fi movies, through books, through graphic novels and comic books. That's all fine. But, life goes on, and we have to pay the mortgage and the whole thing, but that's all fine. But we can get together. The friendship is always there, and it comes out strong because we share similar interests with sci-fi and pop culture, basically, which is what we generally discuss. Right now, it's great. It's blockbuster movie time. Every weekend, I'm going to see movies. Not opening weekend because that would be crazy, and I cannot stand to see fine films or some Hollywood blockbusters opening weekend because it's always crowded, packed, smells bad, very hot,
I know,
and
but
you can't hear the dialogue.
But it's almost as if it's meant for that.
It's just part of the ritual.
Yes, I mean we've gone to I don't know how many midnight showings of movies of the night before, the Thursday night that we've gone to see these movies with a huge crowd with the fans. It's that whole experience.
And
but
you realize
I haven't.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I haven't done that since like almost like Attack of the Clones. And I just realized, I have kids. I can't do that. No.
The joys of parenthood. Yes, indeed. Not doing the things that you dream of doing for the sake of others in your family. Wonderful. Great to learn.
So rather than
you have a girl. So, okay, go ahead.
So rather than seeing first run movies at midnight, I can get to stay up at midnight and watch the movies that I saw last summer on DVD. But it's lonely that way.
Yeah, you wake up like, that was an amazing shot. Hey, Jack, you're sleeping. Oh, great. I got to call Jack at 3 in the morning. Do you sleep? Okay. Otherwise, I must be up, generally. I'm a night owl.
Yeah.
I'm always a night owl. You realize that, Monty, this with Dark Knight coming out this weekend, that we've actually reached a new apex of movie-going mania, because they're showing, Dark Knight not only at midnight, but also in some theaters at 3 a.m., and if you really are hardcore, they're showing it at 6 a.m. Friday morning.
Yeah,
and it's just going to go all weekend long. It's going to be amazing. I've never seen this kind of coverage, this kind of, curtailing to the movie fans, and I'm sure that it'll make
although before the midnight showings and all that, Return of the Jedi, way back in, I think it's 83, I went to see the first showing, which someone said, no, you're never going to get into it. Like, no. I waited for this movie to happen, and I waited online, and was able to catch the first show. This is up in New York, in Lois Orpheum, on 83rd and Lexington. It was one of my favorite theaters to go to because it was the huge widescreen, Dolby, everything you want, and of course in the latest technology back then, the ultimate experience. And I always made sure that I went to those movies the first day, first showing as early as I can. Of course, times have changed. You have more responsibilities, and you can't do that. But I miss those times. And I'm just wondering, could you incorporate that with your family life? At this time, I can't.
There will be a time, Monty. Right now, your kids are young. And
although I did see Wally on opening day with my daughter and my wife, so we had a great time with it. My son, of course, is just too young, so there's no way we could have brought him, and we just left him in daycare.
And your daughter is how old, and when did you teach her to do the Live Long and Prosper sign in Star Trek? I'm just curious.
Oh, she was doing that, I think, since the age of 4.
And if I can just mention really quickly to your audience, what was on your wedding cake again, Monty?
Okay.
Tell your audience.
Just to clarify, it is not the wedding cake per se that had Troy and Riker as the bride and groom, or groom and bride. It was the rehearsal cake. Okay, that was the only concession that we were able to get because we wanted to have that for our actual wedding cake. But other people wanted other things at our wedding, so I wasn't going to bitch and complain. I had an option, so I took it.
And
now,
wonderful moment when you were introduced as man and wife to your friends. What theme song played in the background? Was it the wedding march? Was it something traditional?
Was it the Imperial March? Although that would have been appropriate.
That would have been funny, yeah. But you were in your wonderful gray tuxedo with your Phineas Fogg hat. I don't know if that would have worked, but okay. No,
I played the theme from Star Trek Next Generation, in which it starts off very slow, very low, and no one was really expecting this because they thought it was going to be some kind of nerdy Star Trek thing. So until they announced and the music came in full blaring, then everyone knew what it was, and everyone was caught off surprise because they were waiting for that to happen, and finally it did. So they thought that Jen and I will get in our Star Trek uniform outfits and come out there, and no, we actually had a very traditional wedding, and that was it.
I was proud.
Those little nuances.
It made me laugh quite a bit. It was just fine. I was proud to be there, and I was proud of you. That was a great day. Moving back to movies.
Moving back to movies. This is how we just simply go from topic to topic, and we jump time.
Yes, we have
went
ADD.
back.
We have ADD, and we're in sync. It's wonderful. It's great. We have conversations about things that go 5 minutes, then we drop it, and then we come back to it 20 minutes later, and it's like it never happened.
We just made a quantum leap in our memories. Whatever. Anyway, going back to the movies. Dark Knight. I definitely want to see it. I'm eager to see it just because I want to see Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker.
Do you have any opinions about the possibility of the posthumous Oscar that many people are buzzing about?
That's going to be, I don't want to say it's a given, and I'm not going to say it's going to be not justified, but in fairness, if someone's going to give a later and better performance later on this year, not to going to be, kind of like wrong, but it should go to the person who gave the best performance, not out of, he died. He is a great, incredible actor. I've not seen all his work, but what I've seen, I love. But in fairness, it's like one of those Oscars going to someone who is in their late 70s and 80s, and you know that they're going to give it to them because they're going to die tomorrow.
More like Harrison Ford in the future.
Speaking of which, you know how close I was to seeing Indiana Jones this past weekend?
Share your pain.
Oh, God. Jen and I went to Panera to do homework.
Everyone has a secret pain. Is that the line?
Share your pain, Cybok.
Okay, thank you. Okay, go ahead. I thought it was everyone has a secret pain. Share your pain. Okay, go ahead.
It's a variation of that. So.
Okay.
It's a 4:15 show. No, 4:20 show at Sunset Place. Mm-hmm. So it's 3:30. Okay, we can get there in plenty of time because it's just maybe 10, 15 minutes away. I'm waiting for Jen to finish up her homework, and then it's like now 10 to 4 o'clock. And finally, when she's done, it's like 5 after 4. I'm like, forget about it. I'm not going to drive, to the other side of Sunset and get there and miss everything.
It's a bit of a drive, and plus parking is not fun here in Miami, Florida.
Exactly, to begin with. So, screw it. We try to go to Kendall. Let's see what's playing right then. Everything was pretty much already sold out, like Hellboy 2. I was even interested in seeing Mamma Mia, believe it or not.
That's not out yet.
I thought, wait, what else came out?
It's coming up. It's coming out this weekend against Dark Knight, I believe.
No, I thought it was something else. Oh, Space Chimp was coming out.
Oh, yes, that's going to do well. Seen lots of coverage on that. That's going to change.
Well, here's the thing. It makes perfect sense to have Space Chimp to come out against the Dark Knight.
Right, because of all the juvenile, small children.
Exactly, because PG-13. I took Angela to see Iron Man, PG-13. She didn't handle the violent part in the very beginning. Later on, she was fine with all, the battle scenes, whatever. But certain scenes that she could not handle. She's only 7. So, Dark Knight, she wants to see it, and based on Iron Man, that's not going to happen. So, you got to do Space Chimp. Then you have Mamma Mia, you have girls and chicks who don't want to see Batman, don't want to see Space Chimp.
Every chick I know wants to see Batman.
Yeah. And not to say that not to say that I'm a chick too, but I love the music of ABBA, and I thought it was a great concept of having a whole production based on their songs. So, it looks good. I'm not afraid to admit to watching something that's not sci-fi, just because it's that, I'm not afraid to say it. My life is not all sci-fi, although you may say, oh my God, he's such a geek. There's not much more to me than just science fiction.
No, Mike. Don't worry. I believe in you. You're fine. Repeat after me. It's only a show. Okay, and you'll be able to see anything you want in time.
Yeah. So, you tell me your thoughts on what's going to happen with Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. Well, with the Oscar situation or that weekend.
Anything.
I'm looking it up while we're talking. I'm looking it up on IMDb, and I do remember that Oscar was given posthumously once. It was for Peter Finch, who died before the Academy Awards took place, where he was nominated for Best Actor, but I think he went in the interim. I think he'd already been nominated, and then he passed away. This is for the 1976 movie Network. He was nominated for Best Actor, and then he won, making him the only performer ever to receive a posthumous award at the Oscars. So it has happened before. But the question here, I think he was nominated before he died. Whereas in this case, Heath Ledger's been, God rest his soul, he's been gone for a while, and this is his last completed performance, and he was, a very popular actor,
Yeah.
I don't know. The thing is, it's not up to the public. The public will scream for it. I'm sure his performance as the Joker will be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I personally like I like Christopher Nolan's Batman universe so much better than the one that Tim Burton created, so many years ago. Because it is more, but the thing is, you have to understand it goes with the times, I mean, gosh, the Adam West, Burt Ward Batman film. I mean, I look at that now and I think, wow, that's just campy and cartoony. And yet back then, it's all you had. You just, society changes. Their needs change. You get different visionaries, different views. And I think that Heath Ledger's performance will probably be, as Chris Nolan's Batman Begins, it's outstanding. Because it's one of the rare works of cinema that's really on par. It's good. I mean, Chris Nolan did Memento. He did, Batman Begins, and did a whole lot of other films that are just amazing. So he's got the right vision, and that viewpoint is just what you're looking for. And when you get the combination of all these great things and great talents coming together, you have to say, wow. I think that The Dark Knight really does show, how far blockbuster movie making has come, and they do it right, because I'm sure it shouldn't go over the top, and yet the psychotic twist of the Joker, not going to be like the comic books. It's going to be much darker, much crueler, much more understandable, which is the key to any good villain.
Exactly.
But I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I'll go, wow, that was amazing. I'm sure I'll go outside, light my cigarettes, and go, wow, Gene, do you like the film? Wait, I can't talk about it. I'm digesting. I'm reliving it for like several hours afterwards. And, then it will sink in. Those are the best movies, films that you see and just, wow, it just takes you away to that different world, and there you are.
Now, speaking about Batman, I'm not sure if you've seen this yet, but, Dark Knight, Gotham Knight.
No, I haven't seen that yet, the cartoon.
Okay. I was just blanking. I'm like, what's the name of that DVD I just bought? And I did a review on my blog site.
That's great. Yes, you need to get some sleep, Monty. Sleep and a regular diet. These are good things. I mean, it's fun to have that weird paranoia, kind of not sleeping sort of thing, and you get a lot done. But I can't really talk though. I know.
So, but I was quite pleased with it. 6 of the stories had some kind of overall theme to it, but it wasn't really as interlocking as I would like to have seen it.
Not like the Animatrix, which kind of completely locked into the movies. I mean, I've heard that the Gotham Knights thing is a kind of a weird conglomeration of different artists, different takes. Yeah. With Kevin Conroy doing the voice of Batman, which I think was great.
Yes, and that was the big plus that I had to say about this, because even though the New Frontiers, the DVD, had a good Batman, I really missed Conroy's voice in it. So when I saw this, I'm like, he's in all 6 stories. I'm like, this is great. But it's the one thing that I really hated. Like any bad anime, the voice sync with the lips would be off. And I was just wondering, why is it off if it's an American actor? So I think they had some kind of production meeting that said, have a Japanese or an actor who spoke over there, and they did the production work, and then they brought it over here. Conroy dumped it over, but then the sync with the lips are off. That bugged me.
You are way too much of a perfectionist, my friend.
I know.
Too
But
much.
what they could have done, and they did in a couple of scenes, cover his mouth, show the back of his head, do all the things you don't need to worry about seeing his face, and it works fine. So, on that point, except for one story it was really bad. Most of the time, it's some variation of that.
No, but this focuses on the B-grade characters, right? I mean, like the Joker, Penguin don't even show up. It's like Deadshot and Alfred.
Yeah,
and...
Deadshot is I've never heard of the character, and if I did, then I'm really off my game because, I've been out of DC stuff.
It's okay. He's a relatively popular character.
Okay.
But we'll explain his origins later. It doesn't matter. Don't worry.
Yeah. But I really like that, and it's the last episode, too. The last story is with Deadshot. And, wow, that's probably one of the best animation sequences that I've seen in a very long time. And Batman really comes into his own in that episode. Not to say the other ones are not good. This one, the last one, is the best one out of the lot. So, but with that, I do need to lend that to you. Like everything else, I lend to you, and yet don't watch. And shall we have that conversation?
If you like, I'd rather not bore the audience with that. I hope this doesn't sound like the Chevy Chase show. That was fun, wasn't it? That was. Oh yeah, talk about things that we have no idea what you're talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Well, in a nutshell, basically, I watch things that I want Gene to watch, and vice versa. You want me to watch certain things that you want me to watch. And we always have this kind of resistance to what we want to recommend to each other. You, for the longest time, tried to get me to watch Angel and Buffy, which I missed altogether. And what did I try to get you to watch?
Firefly.
Uh-huh.
And now you're working on, and have been for the past year and a half, I believe, Battlestar Galactica, which
yes,
fits there.
You have seasons 1 and 2. You won me over on Doctor Who.
Yes, good. But I like the old school stuff. But the new stuff is awesome as well.
No, I'm bored for both. So Doctor Who all the way. Firefly got you hooked on.
Yes, you did.
Although we felt very sad when Wash died, watching Serenity. I couldn't believe it, and was really bummed out.
Sure. Ron Glass's character can pass away, but, that's just one death. That's generally... What the? Wash? What?
2?
Yeah.
But, oh.
Oh.
Supposedly they were going to be making another one, but I don't know.
New comics coming out soon.
I know.
From Dark Horse. Also, did you hear, while we were on the topic of Doctor Who, that I read on my IMDb today that John... I'm going to get his name right. Give me one moment, please. John Barrymore, I want to say. The guy who plays Captain Jack on Torchwood.
Yeah.
And he's going to be doing something for the BBC One about his homosexuality. I had suspected that he was, homosexual, but he evidently is, and he's doing a TV show to explore that and how he became that way. It's going to be airing, I think, July 24th on BBC One sometime. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Okay.
But,
well, I have plenty of things to watch up to that point, so I'm not that worried. I'm not really rushing it, so if he wants to do it, fine. I'll watch it, but I am still trying to catch up on Torchwood. Whoa. Let alone series 2, 3, and 4, because everything I've been watching is on BBC America and a little bit on Sci-Fi Channel in bits and pieces. So I know what is going on, but I just don't know all the little details of what is going on, which really ticks me off.
You need a TV.
Because there's so much that I really want to see altogether, and this is just really ticking me off. Let's see, what else? I've rented out tons of movies from the library that I work at, but I have yet to watch any of them just because I'm trying to finish up my classes which I have another week to go. But I did my design for my comic book website, the DC versus Marvel. Did you get to see it? No.
Now.
No. Now. So
I glanced at it. Yeah.
So far, it is what it is. I am not saying it's the greatest website or the greatest concept, but I needed to construct a website. Now, what I am proud about, and this took a very long time, is the battle section, in which you see two pictures, one of each camp, and a voting button underneath it. And I had Azrael versus Iron Man, Wonder Woman versus Thor, and Aquaman versus Spider-Man. So if you go to that site, which I'll put in a link in my show notes, you can see the voting tabulations to date. And I was really surprised. The one that I thought would be more interesting about all of them was the Wonder Woman and Thor. So far, Thor has the lead, I think, like 3-2 votes. But in my opinion, would think that Wonder Woman would really kick Thor's ass badly.
I don't know. I don't want to speculate. I mean, it's up to the writers, it's up to the creative team. You know, I mean, I'm just thinking while you were talking that this is a wonderful time to be here. I mean, all of our, you know, we're kind of, I mean, we're our generation and the stuff that we grew up on is starting to come out on DVD even more and more. You know, and when you pay attention to pop culture, there's been kind of a weird sort of resurgence of everything coming out now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, we grew up on classic Tom and Jerry, Scooby-Doo, Super Friends, so on and so forth.
The Marty Krofft.
Marty Krofft, yes. Good.
We were talking about that all day yesterday at the library. You know, the H.R. Puffin stuff, Sigmund and the Sea Monsters.
The Bugaloos, Dr. Shrinker.
Lost's Lost Saucer with Ruth Cosby and Jim Neighbors. Far Out Space Nuts.
Land of the Lost. Can't forget that.
Land of the Lost. And my other favorite one, which I'm blanking on, Electric Woman and Dynagirl.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm glad to see the figures, but I still don't know them.
There's one. And that's now, you're going to have to get that on the secondary market, Monty.
I know, but, you know, it's one of those things that I still want to collect toys. I just don't have the room, like you don't have room to display your stuff.
I have no room.
You still collect.
I collect, and it goes in the pile, which threatens to cover me every day. Yes, it's fun.
Yes. Just remember to put my name in the will. Something should ever happen, that it all goes to me.
Of course.
Okay.
Anyway, 2, 3, 4. So, go ahead.
So, no, go.
Oh, thank you. Yes. No, just amazing times going out. Lots of things coming out. Lots of wonderful things. Looking forward to The Watchmen coming out.
Yeah.
Sometime next year. Really, really impressed with that story, and the director of that should be doing a great job. He did 300. It should be an amazing thing. Yeah.
And kind of jumping back a bit, I got this in as an email from Fansum. The company that actually does like these one-night shows for old movies.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be doing a special 25th edition of War Games.
I think that might be this week or soon with additional stuff. And then the second War Games movie they did recently, that comes straight to DVD out, comes shortly after, which fine.
Well, they're doing it at theaters. One I think it's on the 26th of July. I know it's on a Wednesday, so I could be wrong on the date, but again, I'll make some notes on that. But I thought I really like those concepts of having, you know, older movies that came from when we first saw it on the theaters and play again on the big screen. Kind of like, you know, when Star Wars came out with a special edition of all the special effects, and how we went all over again watching the first 3 movies. But it's like you really miss those times that we grew up on, and it's nice to see that kind of little resurgence a bit. Not that, you know, War Games really has much merit right now because it seems already dated, you know, with Matthew Broderick calling on a modem and doing all the primitive games of global nuclear war crap.
No, how about a nice game of chess?
No.
Let's play thermonuclear war. Yes.
And that's the only famous line. Although I did have a big crush on Ali Sheedy back then. You know,
Everyone
she
had
looked.
A crush on Ali Sheedy.
I know. But you know, now it's more like I had a crush on Ali Sheedy. Ugh.
Oh, fine. How does your crush go once she falls out of the public eye? Love of a fan is true and honest. It goes throughout.
Oh, you're so full of crap.
Plus, she's easier to contact. You know.
Oh yeah, because now she has nothing else to do, so she's just waiting for my call. Say, hey, Allie, you want to be a friend of mine on MySpace or Facebook?
Do you want to talk about your MySpace account? How many people do you have? You've got like hundreds of people that you've never talked to or met.
Oh, don't. No. I have used that site, both sites, to stay in contact with people up in New York. And if you're listening to this podcast and you know who you are, I'm not going to name names, just in case, you know, they want to fear getting beaten up for knowing me. No, but there's people that I've met online, and in fact, one guy named Kurt with girlmonsters.com, his site, he found my blog and put my blog on his site, and basically Girl Monsters is kind of like a transitional site for young girls who want to learn more about the horror movies, but not necessarily all the gore ones, but like the classical more horror movies, like The Thing and Dracula and all those movies, and kind of more transitional state type thing. He has sent me a great care package of T-shirts, postcards, activity books that I'm going to try to use for an upcoming library event. I just don't know what it is, but these are great stuff that I wouldn't have known otherwise if it wasn't for MySpace and Facebook, and of course my blog. So there. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, amateur networking at play. But I'm very happy with you.
But it works.
And the success of your website and your blog.
Yeah.
You're doing wonderful things, and you're going out there and doing exactly the thing that you should be doing. I mean, you have your professional life, and then you have this idea of just getting the information out there, sharing your knowledge, your experience, things that you found cool with other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much a teaching instinct you have that you're exercising, you know?
Somewhat, yeah.
Well, you're not not nurturing or patient with it, but the thing is, you know, even this,
yeah.
someone will listen to this and think, wow, you know, Network, 1976, someone got a posthumous Oscar? Cool.
But, speaking of which, just right before we got onto the call, I was checking my Gmail account, and someone noticed the posting I did on the Dresden Files.
Right.
I've never seen Dresden Files on Sci-Fi Channel at all, so I didn't care about it, but since I listened to the Slice of Sci-Fi podcast a lot, they were always talking about it, and they had a campaign trying to save it and so forth. Hulu.com is a great site to watch past shows, and I think I might have mentioned it to you or on a blog or whatever that they are showing old shows like Angel, full seasons of Angel. Now they're showing Dresden, and I saw the first episode just the other day. I was like floored by it. I really liked it. I really liked Dresden Files. And as so, since I did the posting, a marketing company saw my blog and made mention of me joining their affiliation to help promote their audiobooks of the Dresden Files that James Marston's Spike.
Let's go with that. Spike.
Yeah, Spike does the readings as well as Ben Browder. So I'm like, oh, this is really cool. So finally, I'm getting kind of some recognition for the work that I've been doing, and hopefully as time progresses, we'll get more information about the audiobooks. But I'm like, now I'm really into the Dresden Files, and there are only 12 episodes that I think, and I have 11 left, so I'm going to use them sparingly because I'm going to be really upset once I go to the series and get so hooked that there's nothing else, so I would want more material. So I'm holding off on that. But the audiobooks sound promising.
I think it's interesting that you know we we all go to the mainstream stuff. Right now, Heroes is really hot. Although I grimace.
We won't talk about season 2.
Yeah, we won't talk about season 2. Season 1, though, amazing, great, wonderful cast, great stories, compelling. Love the cliffhanger ending.
Webisodes are much better than season 2.
Yeah.
You have to read my blog about webisodes.
I'll do that tomorrow when I'm trapped in my cubicle, trying to find my way out. My tunnel's almost done, by the way, but we're on the 3rd floor, so I'm a little worried about that. But I don't know.
All right.
Anyway, the thing is that there's stuff out there. You just have to find it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little obscure now. There used to just be 3 networks, Yeah. And now you've got all these other networks, and you really have to look for it. I mean, you and I have talked and bemoaned the death of Sci-Fi, but there's stuff out there. It's just not quite the way you expected it,
Yeah, it's not the traditional means of seeing it on cable, but now the Internet, thank God, was smart enough to get that working in our favor. And speaking of which, and I found this out too because I contacted Hulu because I wanted to have Hulu be played in the library as kind of like an added value, meaning we'll have like a science fiction group that would meet and we'll pick an episode, Dresden Files, Angel, whatever, and we would watch it because it's online. We're not breaking any copyright material. It can be accessed through the Internet. So they said that's no problem to share the content as long as you don't charge any admission or membership fee. Go for it. So I'm like, wow, that is really cool.
I was expecting more trouble from this.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost too good. It's like, oh, they're setting me up, those bastards. But, that's what I want the library to start doing is start having that as a draw. And, there's going to be tons of books and other materials that we can kind of tie into the whole thing of literacy. So as long as you get people coming into the door and if that helps draw in more people to the library, hey, we're doing something good. Kind of like with the video games, which today we had our first Wii experience. And I had my butt handed to me twice in tennis and in boxing, and both times by girls. So I wasn't proud about that. Getting me back on my Xbox 360, I will teach them the meaning of pain, but today I was not that way.
And the turnout was good?
So. We weren't expecting a whole lot of people, but then again, today was just one of those miserable days with rain. So we're lucky to have anyone come out to the library and just to play the Wii, just for that. So
you heard it here you heard it here first, folks. Free child care at your local public library.
No,
program
no. I don't care how close we are to the mall. You're not dropping your kids off at the library. Here, now, or forever. That will be the proper rule. So, parents, watch your kids. Yeah, because we ain't watching them. And they break our TV with that Wii, you're in big trouble.
Yes. But the good thing about it, though, is if something bad happens, you're still legally responsible. Isn't that nice?
Regardless. So, what else is new with you?
Not much. Lately been playing the Indiana Jones Lego game on my PS2, which is surprisingly fun.
Nerd.
Oh, well, what? It's cute.
I know.
It's got its appeal.
I know. I want to play it too. I mean, I was the one that got the sci-fi, the Star Wars Legos game for you because my copy broke.
Yes.
And then I gave yours, and then that didn't work. So you got a free replacement.
And I beat the heck out of that game.
Yes, you did. Which I was able to finally do maybe about a couple of months ago with my daughter on the GameCube.
With your daughter? Your daughter was helping you? Or
yes, my daughter was
helping or hindering? No, over here. Oh. This way. No, Daddy wants, it's over here. Oh, no.
Stop smacking me. Stop taking all my coins. Stop shooting R2D.
Stop killing me. Don't,
Okay, you can shoot Jar Jar. I don't care. But the Legos are really cool. I'm really glad that I think in the fall the Batman game by
September.
Legos is coming
Yes,
out.
indeed.
So definitely it's going to be a must to get. So even though I want a Wii and I want the Force Unleashed Wii game, I'm going to have to wait because I love the graphics of it, good gameplay, but right now, I'm fine with my Nintendo GameCube and my Xbox 360. I'm not going to go.
Well,
buy
I
another
think
game.
that the Nintendo Wii is more family oriented, and
Yeah.
that's fine for you. I personally I don't have a family. Well, I do, but
You know of.
I can have the Xbox with their more violent, more adult oriented games.
Yeah.
With more violence and bloodshed, and I'm pretty happy with that.
Well, that's good.
It makes me
Release
happy.
the pain.
Really into retro games though. The old, the old arcade games.
I know. I thought about that. Every once in a while, you go to Toys R Us and you see, the 30 games on one disc that has, the old Sega games or Atari, and man, I really like those games, but after a while, man, these graphics suck.
No, you just gotta. They're old school, and you
I
grew
know
up
they're old.
and for the first time, you don't have to pump in 1,000 quarters to beat it, and you can beat it, and you can see the ending finally that you could never pay for when you were a kid. It's great.
No, I know. But even then, Centipede, the arcade game, would never be the same as Centipede at home because you didn't have the little rollerball track to spin. So the flexibility of moving quickly from one side to the other, up and down or diagonally, wasn't there. You had a freaking joystick that just sucked.
They made a strange choice with Centipede and Millipede. It was for left-handed trackball control, as I recall. It wasn't right-handed. It was very strange because the fire button was on the right-hand side, so it was kind of a backward kind of game for a lot of people. Really an unexpected test in dexterity for you.
Yeah. Although on television, that was my thing. That controller was probably one of the worst design controllers ever made because it was a disc and it wasn't very user-friendly. And I remember that in one of the Commodore 64 magazines that someone sold a piece, and it was nothing more than like a chess piece with a glue sticky back. Just plop it right on the middle of it, and you have your little joystick, and it works. So I paid $20 to have a chess piece attached to my controller. But when I look at comparative of Atari versus Intellivision had the better gameplay as far as more great graphics and story-wise, whereas Atari, it was a lot more arcade games, but playing-wise, it was.
Well, no, the Atari 2600 is classic. You can't touch it. It's always going to be there. It was the first video games for a whole generation. Then you got Intellivision. Then you got the Atari 5200. Then you got the
ColecoVision.
Yes. All these things.
And the Atom computer.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, go.
I still can't believe that my children aren't going to know what a typewriter is. I used a manual typewriter growing up in school. And corrector type. God, they're not going to know what that is.
Yeah, well.
But liquid paper will still be there in some shape or form. Hooray.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, even at the library, it's hard every once in a while that I'm like, okay, I know I'm not that old, but when you have someone who's in their early 20s, and you try to explain to them Adam Ant, not the cartoon, but, the person who sang, and it was on a record, and for them to say, oh, my God, that's a really big CD.
No,
wow.
That did not happen. Tell me that did not happen. Okay, I guess you're not telling me that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Be surprised.
I usually am.
So, anyway, I think we've pretty much beaten the horse for tonight. I can't think of anything else really to talk about other than, this is going to be hopefully the first of many more podcasts because we've been looking to have this type of format where you're at home, I'm at home, and we can do a podcast over the phone, and hopefully this will be our solution, because you're still going to Dragon Con, or are you still debating on that?
I'm not certain that's going to happen any longer. It's a bit of a drive, and honestly, last year I was there, and it was a bit crowded, and now my cohorts are not going to be able to go. I did invite you.
I know, and this year was going to be my year to do at least 3 conventions. I did MegaCon up in Orlando, Comic-Con in New York to see, a dear friend, and meet. I didn't meet Kurt because we missed our time together, but I had a class reunion as well. So, and I wanted to go for the trifecta and go for a third one, but the way things are going with gas, especially.
Yeah, gas is affects us all.
Yeah, so I'm not going to go this year, but come in the future, if one of us are going to a convention, we can still do remote calls from wherever we are. I kid you not, I really want to do this and report back live and record it,
Yes. Dean, where are you? What con are you at? I'm at the AEE Awards here in Vegas, and oh my God, what the hell is that?
Can you describe the atmosphere there?
There's intense anxiousness just walking about the floor and the area, and the floor is sticky for some reason. No.
Stop it.
Sorry.
That's only if Olivia Munden's around. Before. I don't know why I'm still stuck on her, but she's been, on my mind lately. But I'm not going to talk about any of that any further.
Okay.
I'm going to bed.
Right. That's not what you want to say when you're saying, I don't know why I'm thinking about it. I'm going to go to bed. And what's going to, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. We're going to say goodnight now.
It's been a pleasure, Monty. You have a good evening, and I hope to return soon.
Yeah. And you know what would really, really suck?
What's
I didn't hit record.
Well, we caught up anyway. It's okay.
Somewhat. But, again, we're going to do this again, and I would like for us to have more participation, meaning that we'll have our own show and people can call in. So if you're interested in the future, the only way you'll get to be invited to call in is you need to look at my blog at monsterscifishow.wordpress.com, and there you will find instructions on how you can be invited to our upcoming shows.
Yes,
so,
your support is vital to us, so that there's more than just 2 people talking. There could be 3, and so on and so on. Okay.
So, and I'm hoping to do a lot more with book groups, upcoming events, just things that we've been wanting to do for a long time, and have a nice network of people sharing our geekiness with each other and having a good time over it. Because that's the one benefit that I love about hearing podcasts is that no matter where you are, day or night, you hear someone talking about the things you like, you're not so alone out there. So that's what I'm hoping that you'll take out of that for tonight. You're not alone. There are more people like you than you know. So, and I don't know why I came up with this stupid motto now, but I'm saying sci-fi geek, sci-fi strong.
That works.
Yeah, it works for me.
It does find your target group. It's fine. Okay.
Considering I'm walking now 5 miles to my job.
The thing is that when your kids get older, you can sit there and tell them that story. I had to walk 5 days, 5 miles through the snow to the hot Florida sun, which doesn't exist with snow, but yeah.
Uphill. What hill? There's no hills in Miami. In the snow. It doesn't snow. Okay, it was long. It was hot. 5 miles.
You could buy a Coke, couldn't you? What? Okay.
Yeah. So that's my new thing now. I'm trying to do my walking again.
Okay, that'll be like bitch cakes. Let's see if it catches.
God, I forgot about that. Jakers.
Cute. All right, well, thank you for having my new show, Monty. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, man.
Have a good
you
night.
Have a good night. Take care.
Bye-bye now.